Some have asked, is there really an ever-burning hellfire where the wicked are burning forever? Let's answer this question today. Some cite a scripture over in Revelation chapter 14 when asking about this question. Let me read this verse to you. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 11. And the smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives his mark of his name. The first thing we notice from reading this verse is this scripture is not saying that the wicked burn forever in hell. We notice the context here. This is the time when God pours out his punishment upon those who worship the beast, and it says, and his image. We see this if we read the two verses before what we just read. Let's read in Revelation chapter 14, this time verses 9 and 10. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lord. Now let's read again verse 11. And the smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night who worship the beast and his image, and who receiveth the mark of his name. We see this occurs in the presence of the Lord, and that is at the second coming of Jesus Christ. Then at that time we also learn the beast and the false prophet are cast into the lake of fire. Let's go to Revelation chapter 19. Revelation chapter 19. And we will read verses 19 and 20. Revelation 19 and verse 20. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, which wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Again, these verses do not say they burn for all eternity. Remember back in our original verse, Revelation chapter 14 and verse 11, where it says, the smoke of their torment ascends forever. And of course, we should all understand that as long as the fire is burning, the smoke will ascend. This word forever used here does not necessarily mean for eternity as we would understand the word eternity. In fact, back in the Old Testament in Exodus chapter 21, God says that a servant in ancient Israel who loved his master was to serve that master forever. Obviously, this did not mean for all eternity. Let's go to Exodus chapter 21, verses 5 and 6. Exodus 21 verse 5. And if the servant plainly says, I love my master and my wife and my children, I will not go out free. Verse 6. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or into the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve his master forever. Again, it should be very obvious to all of us that eventually both the master and the servant would die. This word forever here means as long as they both were alive. In other words, as long as the conditions of the contract remain constant. The same is true back in the book of Revelation for the fire used by God to punish the wicked. As long as the fire burns, smoke will ascend. When the fire stops burning, the smoke will stop ascending. So until the fire is extinguished or stop burning, the fumes and the smoke will continue to ascend up. We can also learn from reading the Bible, those people who are being burned up cannot be burning forever and ever in an ever-burning hellfire, because the wicked are to be the ashes under the feet of the righteous, which will ascend up to the atmosphere. Let's go to Malachi chapter 4. Malachi, last book in the Old Testament. Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it should leave them neither root nor branch. Verse 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and you shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. Now verse 3. And you shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. I think it's pretty obvious. We can understand the Bible does not teach an ever-burning, forever and ever burning hell fire where the wicked are tormented and burning forever and ever. This is simply not the teaching of the Bible. I am Ben Faulkner for the Church of the Sovereign God.